What's up, y'all? Advance here. So, the Memphis police released the body cam footage to news outlets for viewing of the public, and it was every bit as horrendous as they said it would be. So much so that they were actually bracing for the public backlash of what could possibly happen if people actually saw this and were outraged. So in other words, they was preparing for riots. You know, all the stuff that they accused BLM of doing. The video itself is hard to watch, and that's an understatement, actually, because it's like, as much as they was talking about this video and the fact that it was released on Friday and everything, it was like they was hyping up the next Marvel movie, you know, and yeah, and it was just like, man, is it really this bad? What's going on? Like, now, I'm not saying that I didn't believe the eyewitness testimony, but it just made you take a step back and say, damn, like, really? Like, oh my God. Like, this was one of the cases where they said viewer discretion is advised. Because granted, we've seen people get shot on TV. We've seen people get stabbed or hurt or whatever, or beaten. But no, we haven't seen nobody get beaten like this. Like, man, that was just crazy. And first off, all right, so let's rewind. The cops already approached the dude's car on 11. Actually, no, they approached it on 27. Like, that's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, they was damn near 30. So first thing that popped on that happened when they ran up to the car was, they said that they just ran up and yelled, "Get the fuck out of the car! Get the..." Like, man, and the whole time, the dude is sitting there, like Tyre Nichols, he's sitting there confused, like, what? Whoa, wait a minute, what's going on? Get out of the car! And then, like, open the door, like how the dude was on national security before that black woman slapped him. That's what they was like. National security, get out of the damn car! Like, yeah, well, they ain't say national security, but you know what I mean. Like, yeah, they was like on, yeah, they was damn near 30. Like I said, on from a scale of 1 to 10, and they dragged the kid out of the car and started yelling at him, "Get on the ground, get on the ground." Mind you, they're saying get on the ground while they're slamming him to the ground. They wrestled him to the ground. The dude said, "Give up your hands." He's like, "Put your hands behind your back, or we're gonna tase you." And he's like, "All right, like, whoa, all right, hold on." Now, that's really important to say that. Throughout this entire encounter, Tyre Nichols was saying, "All right, hold on. What am I being arrested for? What am I being stopped for? Y'all doing the most right now," is what he actually said, verbatim. "Y'all doing the most right now." Like, it was like, "No, get on the ground." He's like, "I'm on the ground. Lay on your stomach." So, yeah, so I'm like, all right. He's like, all right, hold on. So, in the midst of all of this confusion, he was pepper sprayed and tased. So, in the midst of all of this, he broke out and dipped. He escaped. So, mind you, at this point, it's like 4 or 5 officers around him. What was it, like 3 or 4? Yeah, but he was outnumbered, right? So, these cops clearly didn't secure him. You know, they clearly didn't secure him properly. So when he dipped, the cops took off after him, and look, Tyre was gone. He was gone. He cut that corner like Ezel. I don't mean to make light of this, but no, he was gone. Cops fat ass is trying to chase his ass and sucking wind and shit. They ran 20 feet. Like, they ran 20 feet. You know, like, already sucking wind. Y'all supposed to be an elite task force unit. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Y'all an elite task force unit, can't chase nobody. But yeah, so rewind. So they going back, so they walking back to the car, mind you, sucking wind. You know, like, yeah, sucking wind. You know, if you could charge for air, these dudes would have racked up a fortune. But like, yeah, they was sucking wind going back to the car. The dude done got so freaking in their emotions in pepper spraying and tasing this dude. This dude done sprayed himself in the face. Like, oh my God. So going forward, all right, so they were like, all right, they said, all right, hey, run a trace on this tag. And I'm like, all right, so, you know, I said that in the other video. I'm like, isn't that what you're supposed to do at a traffic stop? Which, now that I think about it, looking at the thing, they didn't even stop the dude. They caught him at a red light. He didn't, like, because normally during a traffic stop, you pull over, right? He stopped at a red light, and they ran up and bum rushed him and dragged him out of the car. Now, so that was the first scene. Second scene, they said they caught the dude on a street called Castlegate, and I know that because that was in the video on the pole camera. So they ran up and just straight pummeled this dude, beat the fuck out. Mind you, even after they caught him this time, he's still saying, all right, hold up, all right, let me. So they like, give me your hands. And one cop pulled out his baton and was like, I'm about to baton the fuck out of you. And yeah, like, give me your hands. And he beat him. Like, he beat when the dude said they beat him like a pinata, they was not joking. Even it was sad. Even Fox said that it was fucked up. Even to the point that now I think they said they could say that because of the officers that was involved, but that's a story for another day. All right, so and then they said, yeah, well, I didn't see nobody kick him. He says as the guy comes from out of left field and kicks him in the face, and so yeah, so of course they had to walk that back, you know. So yeah, and then they said after this 3-minute ass whooping that they gave this poor kid, you know, they standing around high-fiving each other, slapping, you know, dapping each other up and whatever, and, you know, just talking, chilling like they was on the block, you know, which to a degree you kind of want that kind of camaraderie in your offices, because then at some point they can they can relate to the community on some level, right? Wrong. Like, no, like this is a case where they just came off as a bunch of thugs, yo, and you know, beating, and you know, and they beat the crap out of this dude, and they A-Town stomped him, yo. Like, and even the one cop that was back at the other scene who ended up having to wash mace out of his partner's eyes. Oh, one of the dudes that actually showed up on the other scene, who got so caught up in his emotions, he sprayed himself in the face with mace again. So, in any case, the one cop that was at the other scene was like, man, I hope they stomp his ass. You know, so, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, he said that to the cop that eventually showed up later. So, yeah. But, in any case, that's neither here nor there. Well, that is here nor there. But, in any case, back to the second scene of the beating or whatever. And these dudes, like, just standing around. Somehow they finally got him handcuffed, which I found hilarious, because they not hilarious like that, but it's funny because these cops was sitting here beating on this man, punching him in the face, wailing on him, saying, give me your hands, give me your hands, give me your hands. Mind you, the whole time They got this man in arrest position. They got him in arrest position. So you already got his hands, sir. What is you punching him for? You know, and like, yeah, so yeah, they handcuffed him, they just left him laying on the ground. At some point they propped him up against the car. He kept falling over and they had to keep propping him back up. Whole time he's sitting there wailing and writhing in pain. And, you know, of course, at some point, I know conservatives hate this, but he called out for his mother. You know, he called out for his mother, and then the cops are sitting there bragging and bragging and teasing him and all that shit. And it was like one of them was like, man, that dude was strong as a motherfucker. And, you know, and he was like, man, I had to come with the rain, or I had to rain down blows, or whatever, or however he worded it. Basically, he said he had to keep. He was like, yo, I was hitting him with straights, and he was just taking them. Like, he ain't had no choice because your homeboy was holding him. Like, he would have dipped on y'all again, man. And see, a lot of people would look at that and be like, all right, well, why did he run? This is the case. You got armed thugs showing up to you in unmarked cars, in plain clothes. Granted, they had tactical vests on and everything, but if they don't have, you know, you're taught to not really pull over for unmarked officers because you don't know if they're really police officers or not. And they're taught that they actually, this might not be wrong. If you're a cop and you have protocol or whatever, actual protocol, put it in the comments down below, and I'll take that on the chin, and I'll acknowledge my correction. But if, like, you can't, like, just like, unmarked vehicles can't just roll up on people because you're like, all right, hey, you're not a cop, you know? So these dudes ran up on him, dragged him out of the car, and started beating the hell out of him. So of course I'm gonna run, you know. But in any case, back to the second scene. EMS showed up. They didn't administer aid immediately. So yeah, they eventually ended up taking him to the hospital. But they didn't take him to the hospital until like 25 minutes to a half hour after this encounter began. So I'm like, yo, like, and they said that these dudes was part of an elite task force, the Scorpion unit, the organized crime unit. Why they felt like they had to target this kid, I have no idea. Because even Fox said he didn't have any criminal history. So, yeah. And while we're speaking about Fox, we're gonna come to Jason Whitlock, bitch ass. Because how the hell is he going to sit there and say that this is the result because of how they were brought up? They said that he was, that these were 5 individuals that was raised in a single mother household. First of all, I don't know any of their mothers. So how do we know this? You know, and then to sit there, of all people, Tucker Carlson looked like he was the reasonable one in that whole conversation. And he was just sitting there saying nothing. You, a black man, went on TV and you cut your wrist and aired your trauma out to the world and made yourself look like a goddamn fool. And yeah, like, so no, like, you get no respect from me. But in any case, back to Tyre Nichols. First of all, if you have anything to speak against this situation, like, yo, you are the scum of the earth, because the parents watched this. Both parents watched this. The attorney watched it. Yes, Benjamin Crump was involved, but hey, y'all need to shut y'all mouths on this one, because in this case, he was, yeah, you want to call him an ambulance chaser, but no, in this case, this was a kid that did nothing wrong, ever, at any point in his history, you know. So we got that. The police chief, the single mother that they were saying is responsible for how these officers behaved. If she is a single mother, again, I don't know this woman directly. I just know that she goes by CJ. Yeah, she fired them on the spot once she saw the body cam footage. No investigation needed. You know, yeah. Now, there's still an investigation going on because there's more people that's getting in trouble for this, including the first cop who's, I assume, including the first cop whose body cam footage we was watching, who was actually a white cop. That is important to notice, because they're going to keep putting the emphasis on these 5 black dudes. No. And that first cop, the one that said, I hope they stomp his ass, yeah, he's just as liable with this, because he was the one that was damn near 30 out of 10 with everybody, along with everybody else. So, and they're calling for the task force to be disbanded. I don't entirely agree with that, because organized crime task force are needed. Law enforcement as a whole is needed before anybody tries to say that this is anti-police rhetoric. No, this is anti-bad apple rhetoric. This is anti-asshole rhetoric. So, yeah, take that. But, yeah, so in the midst of all of this, they was even the family was urging people, listen, it's going to be hard to watch, but we don't want violence enacted on our behalf, which was a very mature standpoint to do. And you know what? This weekend has been very quiet, aside from the news coverage. But in any case, those are just my thoughts on this. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think. My name is Advance. This is sad. Healing energy goes out to the Nichols family. I'm out.